Okay, we got the superstar lineup tonight. So we got these two people. We can't say their names. And then we got this person. We can say her name. Her name is Lori.
Hi.
So a round of applause for Lori. And then this person is Richard Wicca. And we're here at the Home of the Future. And I guess what it all comes down to, Joel, is what we were talking about earlier. Does anything really matter? Does anything really matter, Joel?
Who are you asking?
You. That's why I said your name and looked at you.
Yeah. For me, it all matters.
Wow, it all matters?
It all matters, Greg.
But what about someone's life?
How about for you? Does it all matter?
No,
for you?
because what about someone's life like over in Europe? You don't care about their damn life. It doesn't matter to you. Come on. You don't care about every life on the planet, 7 billion people, do you?
Do you?
No, I don't. And I don't think you do either.
I don't think you care what I think anyhow. You're just asking questions to elicit answers.
I care deeply what you think.
Oh, please.
I care deeply what you think. That's the whole point of this program, to probe your mind, to see where you're at.
Let's do this.
And I can't believe
Let's do this.
Yeah, well, you see, you just said everything matters to you. I can't believe everything matters to you. You don't care about someone taking a shit in Europe, do you? Come on. It can't be everything matters to you. You don't care about someone getting a toy for Christmas over in Oregon, do you? Come on. Everything doesn't matter to you, Joel. That's hyperbole.
Is it? I mean,
yes.
Well,
I'm telling you right now it is.
Well, then, let's do this.
Yeah.
What is family, Greg?
Can you feel this for me? You too. What is family, Richard? You're very family-oriented.
There's two ways of looking at it. Number one is it's your blood relatives.
Yeah, like your brother David.
Or the second way, it's the people who you choose to be significant in your life.
And which one do you go for, your brother David or us?
I go for the choosing of the family.
Right. And do you consider us parts of your family, the four of us?
I do.
Or is it four of us, yeah. Right. So we're part of your family?
Yes.
And you chose us?
Yes.
So when people come here, if you don't like them, do they not become part of your family? Or does everyone who come here become part of your family? Does every single person who enters the door at the Home of the Future become part of your family?
Well, there's people who choose not to come back.
So when you would choose anyone who shows up here as being part of your family, but if they don't come anymore, then you can see they're not really part of your family when they never show up again.
Right.
Like for instance, what if someone's really busy, like Gwen Kears? She doesn't come here anymore. She said she was here at your birthday party in spirit, and I thought that's not family. That's not what Richard wants. He doesn't want you to be. She said, I think he would be happy with that, me being there in spirit. I said, no. You don't consider in spirit as part of as showing up here, do you?
I do not.
Yeah,
I got to say this. I think you're really good at asking questions. I don't think you're good at answering questions.
Am I answering questions?
Well, I'm asking a question, but you redirect everybody else. You don't
okay, I will tell you what family is.
Please.
Family, in my opinion, has always been, my entire life has been my family, the four of them. Four fucking goddamn fucking family members. My mother, cold as ice. My father, psychotic maniac. My brother, psychotic maniac. My other brother, asshole. A complete asshole. Dean, I'm getting married in a year. Will you come to my wedding? I don't think I want to do that. Go to your wedding. No, you got a whole year to think. It's a year from now. It's June next year. No, I don't think. I'm pass on that. Wow, what a great brother you are! Thanks a lot, buddy. So that's why I think about his family. That's all. I'm always really Greg-centric on it.
You are Greg-centric on it. Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
Why do you do art? Is it because of your family?
I do art because of my damn family crushing my spirit when I was a child. The middle child, everything's heaped on the older first son. He's great, he's great, he's great. And then the little baby, he's great, he's great, he's great. And I'm just left nothing, because one's brain damaged and one is mentally ill. And the amazing thing is I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about my brothers are brain damaged and mentally ill. I am the good sheep. I was ignored. I was passed over. I'm not stupid like everybody says. I'm smart and I want respect. I do the art because I was just so desperate for some positive feedback from somebody. So I came to Richard Wicca's house saying, please give me some positive feedback. And occasionally Richard Wicca would say, yeah, that's pretty good. So, Is that correct, Richard? Is that how it worked out? Occasionally you'd say, pretty good job there, attaboy.
Well, we've known each other for so long, I wouldn't summarize it so succinctly.
There's been a lot of stuff between the two of us. It's been a very complex relationship in the last 30 years. 25 years.
We have a lot of history.
Oh my! It's our 25th anniversary. It was 92 that we first started spending quality time together on your show, Snap Judgments.
Wow!
It was Super Bowl January '92. It was the first time we had a real heart-to-heart conversation, and we went to had a meal, me, him, and Ron Emke. So that was 25 years ago. 25 years. We've learned a lot. We've gone through a lot.
Yeah, we have.
You know, a lot of pain, a lot of struggle.
You should have a ring.
We should have a ring, but we're not those kind of people.
Okay.
Up, next question, Joel.
Well,
how about
Sanford's here.
Go ahead,
how about that idea of family? Because you asked that question about what is family when Greg asked you, do you really care about everything, right? Mm-hmm. So the implication is, and I also like what Richard said about you can't choose your family. You know, your biological family. You're stuck with whomever that may happen to be. But your friends, you can choose. It's true. But I think this, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Joel, but I think the spirit of the question asked, what is family, is that it raises the question, do we belong to a larger family, a kind of a global family, where whether you like it or not, you're connected to everything that's here on some level? And I think that there's some truth to that. Because the friends that you choose at one point were not your friends, or as Richard so generously decided to include us as members of his family. They weren't always members of your personal family or circle of friends. How many people out there right now that I've not met yet will I feel very, very bonded to in a year or 6 months or 20 years?
It's a great question, actually.
You see?
There's a Tibetan teaching that says that every person that you encounter, you should treat them as though they were your mother in a previous life.
I didn't like my mother.
At all?
Is she dead?
Yes, she is.
What was wrong with her? You can say whatever you want now because she's dead.
I could say whatever I want before she was dead.
Did you say stuff to her face?
Yeah.
What was wrong with her that you didn't like her?
She was irritating. She was overpowering. She was...
Was she annoying?
Yeah, she was annoying.
Did she have a shrill, high voice?
Sometimes.
Did she give you a lot of positive feedback? Because my mother didn't give me positive feedback until I wrote a book. It took 50 years until I wrote a book, then she gave me some positive feedback.
No, she gave me positive feedback.
Oh, that was nice of her. So why you disliked her with positive feedback? That's some good mother in there. Positive feedback, Lori.
She was socially...
Uh-oh, you're moving. Someone's moving.
not
Somebody
really.
moved.
Joel, I think it was. Yeah, go ahead.
She had emotional issues. She had the inability to interact with society in a meaningful way.
Was she agoraphobic?
She wasn't around when Gore was running.
Yeah.
She was dead already when Gore ran?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay though.
What about you? What is family to you, Joel?
I wasn't done.
I'm sorry. I like to move the show right along.
That's okay.
Let's go back. Let's stay with Lori.
No, you don't
Continue.
have to stay with-
Continue.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, I'm
You weren't done. You got a lot of other things to
No,
say with
I
your
know.
mother. What happened? What was it like in the womb? Do you remember being in the womb?
The womb. It was
Do you remember spurting out of her at all?
No, it was. She had issues, emotional issues, personal issues. She had situations that were created that could have gone away and could have. She didn't have to react to them the way she did.
Was she putting too much meaning into things? Taking it too much to heart?
Yeah, she was.
Oh God, I hate when that happens.
She was unforgiving. My
Unforgiving?
father
Oh, God.
had an indiscretion that.
Oh no, is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Okay, you can say whatever you want about him. Then he's
Yeah,
dead.
no, I loved my father.
So he was cheating on your mother.
He had an indiscretion.
Would that be cheating on your mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Bastard.
And because
That
she would
bastard.
never forgive him for that.
Well, why should she? They're married. He's supposed to be faithful, right? You know, if someone was cheating on you, you would forgive them.
If somebody cheated on me and they came to me and they said, you know, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. It'll never
I'm a
happen
human
again.
being. Let
I'm
me
a
off the
human
hook.
being. I was weak.
I'm horny.
I had a
I was
moment
very,
of
very horny.
weakness. Yes.
I was extremely
All those
horny
things.
at that moment.
But and then that person just chooses not to forgive you and chooses to take the rest of their life and make every other person involved in the family miserable for the rest of their lives.
That's annoying.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
I believe it's right because if you get cheated on, you should treat the other person like dirt because they treated you like dirt.
Well, you voted
Tit
for
for
Trump.
tat. Yeah, I voted for Trump. Big deal.
I know.
So, anyways, Joel, what about you? You're What's
What
your
about me?
definition of family? Yeah.
Definition of family.
What do you think family means?
I think
Switch over to them.
I'm trying to.
I know. Go ahead.
A better question is what isn't family?
What's happening here?
What is not
I
family?
know.
No matter what I touch, nothing's happening. You don't really need to be on screen, do you,
I know.
Joel?
This is what I
No,
did.
this is perfect.
What do you think this is, Richard?
Try pressing harder.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Did I unplug something when I?
I don't know. When
Maybe
you
you
move that
did,
time,
yeah.
when you
Yeah.
move that time, something
That's
happened.
possible.
And no matter how hard I touch these things, nothing's happening anymore. It was
God
anything-
wants me to
yeah.
be on camera. God wants Richard to be on camera.
So
all
anyhow, the
time
question
now.
is, what isn't family? That's the question for me. What isn't family?
And what's the answer? Oh, it's rhetorical, right? Is that what you're saying?
My
No,
family's-
I think like
Everything's family.
my family's dead.
you can't. I'm sure I knocked something here, Richard. Yeah. Is there something back here that maybe?
This is new, by the way.
Never seen this before.
No.
It's a first on Home of the Future.
It's okay. We'll
Set it?
just keep the shot on you
Okay,
and
tell the
Laura.
people to stand by, Greg.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Did I may have unplugged something here.
Well, he's resetting it now, so let's see what happens.
It's Greg's fault, Richard.
Okay, Greg.
How's it
Oh.
Now you should be able to.
How's it my fault? Okay. You're back. Go ahead. Yeah. What isn't family?
What isn't family?
So you're saying everything's everybody's family, the whole world.
I mean, so if family is like, if we choose family or if we don't choose it, we're born into it. Either way, I mean, if you're born into it, you have no choice in a sense of like the extreme distress or joy that you'll experience. And if you choose it, you're choosing it, that's good. But like, what isn't family? Everything is family. Everything is,
All human beings are family.
it's a collective. It's a collective.
I don't
Of
agree with
course.
that. I think
Of course it
family is. I mean, obviously, if family was, it would be your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, that kind of thing. And you can say the whole world's family, but really the rest of the people are either friends, acquaintances, business associates, that kind of thing. And plus, you don't know all the other 7.5 billion people, so to say they're all family. And plus, if you're going to pick people that are your family,
Let me ask you a question. Why do stories work? Why do stories work, Greg?
I didn't know they did. Do all? I mean, they all work.
Well, why? I mean, we read stories like you just did a project, you completed
Yeah.
it, right? But
Yeah.
it's going to speak to other people you've never met
Possibly.
because the condition is shared. It's a shared human experience. There are things that we share,
Yeah.
and there are things.
No,
that are
we
like
share
different.
experiences and stories work, but it doesn't mean we're all family. I mean, you're just using family in a different way. If you want to use family, the regular definition, the accepted definition is the obvious thing: your mother's brothers, cousins, that kind of thing. And then you can say everyone in the world is family. That's really taking. I can see the whole point of the second part of it being, you choose your family because you choose your friends and your
Right.
business acquaintance, business associates, all that stuff. But then to make the rest of the world, 7 billion people, your family too, I think that's taking it too far. You can use that definition, but I think it's ridiculous. I think it's either your family you choose, the people you choose in your life, the family that actually is your family, your birth family, your parents or whatever, your brothers, and then putting the rest of the 7.5 billion people in your family. No, that's overkill.
I've lived in the same place for 21 years, and I don't really know any of my neighbors, and the ones that I do know about, I don't like, and I don't want to have anything to do
But you
with
just
them.
told me you have a friend next door who might shovel for
That's
you.
one friend.
Oh, you know one person who's a good person.
And that's because he used to work with my ex-spouse.
Right. But the thing is, can we all? I mean, Joel can have that definition, but I just don't think it makes any sense.
I would
It's
never
like-
consider
I would
those
come up with a
people
new
my
word.
family. Let's
I would
put
come
it
with.
that way.
I would say that there's the human race, which is 7 billion people or so, and then there's your family, and then your family that you choose. If you want to use that family term again,
Yeah.
that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
Next question, Joel.
You just blew that one out of the water.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. I just covered it all. Next question,
Next question.
or no question if you don't want to ask a question. You
No,
don't have to ask a question.
So, Sanford's here.
He is here. Yeah.
Do you have a question, Sanford?
No, he has no questions. He only has answers.
Don't answer for him.
He only has answers.
Oh
He
my
only
God.
has answers.
You're such a bully.
I am not.
he's not a
Sanford, am I a bully?
No, not
See?
to me. Not to
See?
me.
I'm not, because Sanford said, the person
not to
you're
me.
saying I'm bullying just said I'm not.
No, but before we put that idea to rest,
Okay.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
The Webster
The
definition
truth.
of family,
Yeah.
you know, consanguineal relationships,
Of course.
parents, children, cousins, aunts, uncles, extended
Pretty
family,
obvious.
nuclear family, yes. And fine.
Yeah.
But the concept, the idea that there's a biological connection with all life on the planet. I think that's a valid
No, it's
point.
true, but I mean,
That's
if
true.
you want to
And-
use the word family for
Yes.
it, you can use that
Use
definition.
another term,
but-
perhaps.
That's
but-
what I said. Come with a new
but
word for that.
I like where Joel was going with the idea of these archetypally, universally shared experiences that, you know, Macbeth, for example, or Hamlet, for example.
I never got Shakespeare.
Whatever. If you take any of these great stories, and if you subtly maybe change some of the cultural mores, they're going to make sense in just about any culture that, you know, they can be adapted to almost any culture. And there are universal archetypes that all people can identify with. You know, I mean, if I stub my toe, somebody in China understands what that means.
Yeah, but what I'm saying...
There's a shared experience there.
And I'd like to chime in on what Sanford just said. There's a TV series that's based on Hamlet.
Okay.
Guess how different it is from Hamlet. You'd never guess. It's about a motorcycle gang.
Sons of Anarchy.
So Sons of
Yeah,
Anarchy,
it's based on
but
Hamlet.
it's the theme is woven in of the father and the son and the betrayal and the revenge
The
and all that.
stepfather, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch it?
Yes.
Is it good?
I like it.
It's well written.
I
think.
was told it was very good, and it just seemed way too violent for me. I have no interest in it. I'm a pacifist. I put the fist in pacifist.
Well, it's semantics. I mean, either you got the real definition of family we've all grown up with. You got the fake thing of, all the people I know are my family. And then you got the third thing that Joel's bringing up, which is just, you can say that, but you can call it door too. The whole world is a door. The whole world is an oyster.
Language is important.
Yeah, now what I'm saying is you're misusing it because language is important to communicate, and to say the whole rest of the world that you don't know is family sounds like bullshit to me. And
Right, but in many cultures, you know, strangers refer to one as brother and sister.
Well, they can,
or
but,
boy and girl. You know, like
yeah, they can, but you know, I don't think when someone says that you're my brother, I don't think that. I always thought that was just nonsense. Like, I don't know you, but you're my brother. Hey, brother, can you lend me a dime or whatever? I mean, no, I don't agree with that.
that's
Okay.
too bad.
I know it is too bad. Why is it too bad?
Why is it too bad?
Yeah, why is it too bad?
You don't see things clearly.
No, I see things completely clearly. I've already stated it over and over and over tonight. What else can I do? I think you're a little muddled.
Okay.
He's just old-fashioned.
Yeah, I'm old-fashioned.
He's a muddled old-fashioned.
Now,
No, I'm.
Some people in the audience will get that joke.
now, can somebody be kicked out of a family?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
We were.
you can be kicked out of a family, but it doesn't. And what it is it's just an idea that you're being kicked out of a family. You're still. Your parents kick you out, and they say we're never going to talk to you ever again. You get kicked out of the family, but you're really still a family member. It's just you're an ex-family member, but you're still a family member. Who's kidding who? You know, if you were born to that woman, you're a family member.
Well, it's kind of cool because you know, there's this book called The Catcher in the Rye,
Sorry.
and it's about Holden Caulfield as a bodhisattva. We've spoken about this, but The Catcher in the Rye is actually that what he sees, what he's trying to save people going over a cliff, is really the actions of a bodhisattva. The bodhisattva is here to reincarnate to serve or teach people that it is one human family.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's just semantics. I mean, we're all the human beings are connected all through the world by being human beings, and you can use the word family, but I don't choose to
Okay.
because I think it's ridiculous. It's not a good use of language.
What would be a good use of language, Greg?
Come up with a new word for saying the whole world is your family. That would be the good use of language. Or maybe there is a word like that, and you're just you know about it, and you're not telling us.
Maybe I'm holding out on you.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I would do personally.
Yeah.
Now, based on what Sanford said, the archetypal stories,
Yeah.
Yeah.
could you say that whatever you see another human being do, you have the capacity of doing that too?
Yeah.
That-
Yeah. What's the Terence quote, the Latin quote? All things human. You know.
Yeah.
You know better than I do, and
Right.
I've forgotten the name of the quote.
Okay, well, I want to bring it up to date. does that mean that all of us have a Harvey Weinstein in them?
Yeah.
Weinstein.
That's such a. That's
I
such
do
a-
believe that. I totally believe that. I think when I teach my students
No way.
Triumph of the Will.
I would never sexually harass anybody.
When I teach my students the movie Triumph of the Will every year, and every year I tell them, be aware
little
that
bit of Hitler in it.
you're looking in a mirror.
No, they're
Because
not.
there's a part of that, we're part of that, whether we like to acknowledge it or not. I think the worst things in humanity dwell somewhere in everybody, some place.
No way.
In that,
I have no
in
Hitler
that, in
or
that
Harvey
ocean,
Weinstein in me.
in that ocean of psychology that is the unconscious, that is a human being.
No way.
There's some really dark stuff that I think all of us potentially, the potential of a human being. I had this discussion with Richard one time, and he got upset with me because I said
I
people
don't think he
can
did.
be good and they can be bad. And you said that's a completely contradictory, absurd statement. And I said human beings are like pianos, because pianos theoretically have an infinite number of tones that can go high in pitch infinitely
But
and
theoretically
low
only.
theoretically. Okay, human beings, well, never mind infinity, but human beings also have a range of experience.
They have a range of
And-
experience,
and-
never, but they don't all have Hitler ability to be like Hitler or Harvey Weinstein in them. That's scumbag. You're talking about the Holocaust. You're talking about this giant sexual harasser, rapist, assaulter. I don't have that in me. And I hope none of you at this table have that in you. Do you? I mean, Jesus Christ, Hitler
I
or
thought-
Harvey Weinstein?
I thought about that a lot.
You don't have that,
recently.
Lori, do you?
No, but I've been
There you
thinking
go.
about the fact that, what if you have dark thoughts. I mean,
never do.
Even Jimmy Carter, was it Jimmy Carter?
That wasn't dark thoughts. He just was lusting
No,
after
he said
a girl.
I lust in my
That's
I
not
lusted
dark.
in my heart. No, but you're missing the point. Is the whole fact of the matter is that you can have a dark thought, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to act on that thought.
Well, you don't have a capacity to act like Harvey Weinstein or Hitler. I'm saying not
I
everyone
mean,
does.
I would never do that. I wouldn't have the capacity to
and
do
plus
that.
Carter, he was just checking out bras and thinking they're hot. That's not a dark
So does
thought.
George
But that's not a
H.W.
dark
Bush.
thought. Heterosexual man checking out women and thinking they're beautiful, therefore lusting, is not a dark thought. That's a normal,
There
regular
are
thought. It's not
lots
dark.
of people who are into this BDSM stuff.
Are you?
Okay? No,
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
It's just not part of me. But there are people, lots of people, who are into that stuff.
Those
They're into
sickos.
getting chained up
Really?
and tortured almost
Wow.
for sexual gratification.
That's sick.
They
So
get together and they do these things.
That's horrifying.
Well,
Richard, are you into that stuff?
There's a radio show on Think Twice.
You didn't say yes or no
Yeah,
there.
that's what I was
What's
thinking
the answer?
about.
Are you into that stuff yourself?
I'm not. I do like talking to the people from the radio show, though.
Your
Do you,
radio show.
do you
on
understand that they're
Think Twice Radio. There's a show about S&M, and you condone that, putting that over the airwaves.
I condone having the people come here and explain their side of the story.
But aren't you anti-religious shows?
That's not religion.
No, I'm asking. Aren't you anti-religious radio shows? Would you let a religious radio? Would you like a KKK show on your waves? But you let it S&M. So you draw the line at S&M. That's the furthest you'll go. It's S&M.
Well, give me another example, and I'll tell you.
Okay. Would you let people come on and just talk about the foot fetish thing, how they love the foot fetish thing, and let's talk about it for an hour?
Well, the radio show is about the kink community.
Right.
So, yes.
So that's part of it.
That would be part of that.
So what about someone coming on and talking about how to murder people? Let's talk about murdering people
I wouldn't.
let's talk about assassinating people.
I wouldn't be in favor of that. I wouldn't be in favor of astrology.
What was Tony's
So astrology.
show?
So you won't let astrology shows go on the air, but you'll let S&M shows go on the air.
Yeah.
That's twisted. What astrology is so benign, especially compared to S&M. Come on, back me up on this, Joel.
Well, I wanted to know
Oh,
Richard's
thanks for
perspective.
responding to me. Thanks a lot.
I want to know Richard's response to what Sanford said about people being
What the
good or bad. What did you say? I was curious about Richard's response to what you
I said like I'll respond to that after.
Yeah.
I will. I promise.
God
I
damn
will,
it all.
'cause
That's a good
I think I
question.
know why Richard feels that way, but I'll
But-
come back to it
Yeah.
because to answer this question.
Yeah.
Like a piano, a piano can be loud, and if you said a piano is loud and angry and ugly, and if you play really thorny atonal music, it is.
That's what I
But
do.
you could play quiet, soft,
I don't do that.
legato. Pianos are also soft. Well, human beings can be full of rage and violence and aggression, and I think even I'm a pretty nice guy and I'm not a violent person, but under the right circumstances, if in a combat situation, or if I was driven to desperation, I'm sure, I know for a fact that I'm capable of doing absolutely horrific things. Horrific. No question about it. And I think that's true of any human being.
No, it's not.
I'm not convinced.
It's not.
And but I'm aware of that all the time, and I consider it a responsibility to be compassionate, and actively so, and to work very hard to be aware of that, the potential that's in every person.
Richard will know this. Can I interrupt
Please,
before you
yeah.
go on?
No, yeah.
Because I know, I think we had this conversation before. There was an experiment done by psychoanalysts who wanted to see people's reaction and how far they would go. And they set up a situation where they said, we're going to put you in front of a control panel, and there's going to be a person in the next room hooked up to electrodes. And you're going to ask these questions to this person, and every time they answer a certain way, you're going to flip a switch, and it's going to give them an electric shock. Right. And each time they answer a particular way, the shock increases. And it gets to the point where the person who is supposed to administer the shock, and they think that they are in control of the situation, they are actually the subject.
Yeah, because the person in the other room is an actor.
Right.
But also, they all didn't continue to do it. Well, it wasn't real shocking.
No, they get to a point where they refuse to do it.
Which is what I'm talking about. Sanford's saying we all have ability to be Hitler or Harvey Weinstein or make up the dark side. No, because the people that did the experiment were the subjects who did not keep putting the fake shocking up on the person while the person's screaming, so I can't do this. They didn't have Harvey Weinstein or Hitler-like aspects. Oh, I guess Hitler-like aspects to them. They wouldn't do it. That's why, because it's not everybody. Some people can be like Harvey Weinstein or, God forbid, Hitler.
That's the whole thing.
Not all. To say all
Not
human
all.
beings. Yeah, exactly. That experiment was one of the things that proved that.
So
There are limits.
I was wondering what Richard had to say about what Sanford had said, though.
That has to do with people being bad or good. We'll take an example.
Okay.
Let's name a person who's bad. So everybody likes to say Hitler when you talk about somebody who's bad. However, if you spoke with Hitler and you said, "Are you pursuing something bad?" what do you think he would respond? He'd say, "No, I'm pursuing something good." And he would give you all his reasons why the things that he was pursuing he saw as good.
Well, he's rationalized in his mind that what he's doing is justifiable, regardless of the outcomes and the effects on people.
Was he rationalizing or was he lying?
Well,
did he really know what he was
doing? You would have to
doing?
be inside his mind to know that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I like about what Sanford's saying is that we can speak about in terms of Hitler or this guy Weinstein or whatever his name is.
Harvey.
We can talk about these as extreme examples of something. The question is, how does that happen? How does that happen in people? And I know Sanford and I have spoken a lot and share an interest in meditation. And one of the things that I think meditation allows is a couple things, but it offers an opportunity to express ourselves genuinely and to look at ourselves clearly, and it removes the filters and the rational mechanisms that steer us away from seeing ourselves clearly, so that when you look at yourself and you say, even in spite of people saying, I have a dark aspect, and people jump on that, but really, we all have a dark aspect. It's called the human condition. And it doesn't mean that we're dark. It means it's an aspect of us. And when we don't look at it, it grows. And when we shed light on it and see it for what it is, it diminishes. So, it's really one of those things that I think, the clarity of what meditation offers is a resolution to the dark aspect of the human condition. And I think if you can carry that very deeply and very far, and I think that what you're saying is true, and I think it's important. And we look at these extreme examples of Hitler, say, but there are many people who have the same characteristics that have attributes that allow them to handle these dark aspects or energies and handle them in a way that sublimate them into something constructive, like movies or poetry or to provide a service to a community that allows many people to find their way. So I just I like what you had to say.
Yeah, beautifully expressed.
Yeah.
You know what I find unusual? Why are so many people enthralled by